On September 21st, 1452, Girolamo Savonarola was born in Ferrara, where he is nowadays honored with a statue in front of Castello Estense in the town center. Growing up, he learned about the teachings of Thomas of Aquina and became very much interested in the faith. At the age of 20, he began to write poetry of an apocalyptic bent, notably on the ruin of the world and later on the ruin of the church, in which he singled out the papal court at Rome as a pigsty. After he had become a Dominican monk and was ordained a priest a year later, it was Lorenzo Il Magnifico who invited him to come to the convent of San Marco in Florence. And so he did, but much to the surprise of the Medici family, he turned against them and held fiery speeches against vanity of the Florentines and their godless way of living. Threatening the people with hell and damnation, his popularity grew and the anti-Medici sentiment got bigger and bigger. When the French invaded Italy in 1494, the Medici were expelled, and the rule of Savonarola became the rule of the city. At this time he claimed God had told him both Lorenzo and Pope Innocent VIII would die, and if the people would follow him, God would grant them all their wishes, as long as they listened to Girolamo. He started organizing so-called bonfires of the vanity, held by gangs of young boys that terrorized everybody that was vain. They invaded homes, took away everything that was sinful in their eyes, mainly art, jewels, and clothing. Nobody knows how many priceless artifacts were burned on the Piazza della Signoria, but certainly many paintings by Botticelli were thrown on the burning flames by the artist himself. The quarrel with the Church and Pope Alexander VI would finally cost Savonarola his life, when he, in name of Florence, refused to join the Papal League against the King of France. He was banned from preaching, but he didn't stop, and so he was excommunicated. With this, the sentiment in Florence against him was growing, and finally he was burned on the same place where he held his bonfires. 400 years after the fact, a plaque was placed on the very place he was burned. He died on May 23, 1498, at the age of 45.